All right, Jon Jones is back. The wait is over. The drought is over. The greatest fighter that the UFC has ever seen is finally making his long-awaited return back to the octagon. The heavyweight debut, 3 years in the making. Listen, Jon Jones, and maybe for you he's the greatest of all time, maybe he's not, but the reality is it doesn't matter whether he's your top guy, your GOAT, whatever you want to call him. He's certainly in the discussion. Right? You cannot deny the greatness. What Jon Jones achieved as soon as he signed with the UFC and throughout all those years was nothing short of sensational. Okay, the meteoric rise, the youngest champ the sport has ever seen, the way he took out generations of fighters one after the other, and also had a habit of beating them at their own game. I mean, the game plan, the fight IQ was unbelievable. Of course, you combine that with the natural gifts that he has, very, very tall, the longest reach in the UFC, things like that. And he certainly plays to his strengths. Great wrestling, good striking, a good understanding of jiu-jitsu game, a hell of an athlete, very explosive, but of course surrounded by controversy. And that is why some people don't have him as the GOAT, okay, because of the picograms, because of the steroids and all the rest of it. But that's another conversation.
Next question, please. Thank you.
He stopped after his last fight, which was against, I believe, Dominic Reyes. Beat Dominic Reyes, before that Thiago Santos and Anthony Smith. Prior to that, just went on a crazy tear, taking out champion after champion. Shogun to become the champion, Lyoto Machida, Quinton Rampage Jackson. I mean, the list goes on. Legend after legend. But those last few against Smith, Santos and Dominic Reyes, they were decisions. They were very close. And a lot of people thought that the sport was catching up with Jon Jones. So after that, he said, I'm done at light heavyweight. I'm going up to heavyweight. I need fresh challenges. And a lot of people thought that maybe Jon Jones was running scared, okay? Now, he should have moved up to heavyweight instantly, fought Francis Ngannou. That is the fight that everybody wanted to see. But of course, it's the one that got away because Francis has gone. He has left the organization, okay? Francis Ngannou, I will do a whole nother video on him, you know, an incredible heavyweight that captured the imagination of everyone with that crazy knockout power that he possessed. But he's gone. He's taken the opportunity. He has the right to not fight for the UFC, and he's going to take his chances elsewhere. As I say, I'll do another video on that. But the fight that got announced last night, Dana White announced it. In fact, the T-Mobile Arena inadvertently announced it when they put up the billboard, even though the fight wasn't announced yet. So potentially some heads might roll there in one way or another, but still, Ciryl Gane going up against Jon Jones. That is the fight going down March 4th for the undisputed heavyweight championship of the world. And it's a great fight. Ciryl Gane is a phenomenal fighter. Phenomenal fighter, traditionally and more... for the most part, he's a kickboxer. He's a kickboxer. He has some submissions on his record, but he's a great kickboxer. Usually that's a wonderful effect. Knocked out Derek Lewis, took out Taito Avasa the last time we saw him in France. And now he gets to go up against the greatest of all time. How do I see that fight going down? Well, I'll make an early prediction. The problem for Ciryl Gane, listen, he's big, and he'll have the longest reach that Jones has ever faced. Ciryl Gane, his reach is 81 inches. As I said, the longest that Jones has ever faced. That could cause him some problems. Certainly when you look at Ciryl Gane, he's very, very light on his feet. He moves like a middleweight. Tremendous footwork in and out, nice long jab, great combinations, very agile, very dynamic in his approach. But compared to Jon Jones in terms of experience and in terms of well-roundedness, he's certainly at a deficit. Now, that doesn't mean he loses. It doesn't mean he loses, but one would imagine at this early stage that according to the bookies, that Ciryl Gane will be the underdog. I'd be surprised if we see it any other way. Now, there's a lot of questions. Jones is coming back after a 3-year hiatus. Will he have some ring rust? Okay, 3 years is a long time. And I did a live yesterday and I was talking about this. Somebody said, well, hold on a minute. If you're sparring in the gym, surely that would negate the ring rust. But the rust isn't about sparring and keeping moving and keeping your timing well. The rust comes to dealing with those negative demons on fight day when the pressure's on. Fighting, sparring in the gym is all well and good, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't win you any prizes. Nobody cares. It doesn't go on your record. All you're doing is getting ready for fights. On the night of the fight, that's when it counts. That's when the pressure's on, and that's what separates the boys from the men. okay? That's why some fighters that are incredible in the gym can't perform in an octagon. I have seen it. I have seen it many, many times. People I know that I'm friendly with in the gym, they are sensational, but they can't get the job done on the night, okay, because of those game day nerves. And this relates back to what I'm saying about the ring rust, okay? 3 years away, coming back, a lot of expectation, a lot of pressure on his shoulders, going up against the #1 heavyweight prospect that we've got in the UFC, Ciryl Gane, a guy that's bigger, a guy that's very fast, mobile, agile, knockout power. He hasn't been here in 3 years. The pressure, can I still do it? Have I still got it? Am I still going to be able to go 5 rounds at a fast pace? All these things, all these questions, all these burdens, all this pressure that you put on yourself, will that affect him? I don't think it will. I think Jones is so experienced. I think he's so good. And I think he's so mentally strong that none of those things will be a factor. Now, when we look at the fight, they're both tall and long, okay? Very similar reaches. But Jones can wrestle. Jones can grapple. And Jones probably has a higher fight IQ. Now, the one fight that would make me instantly say I favor Jon Jones in this matchup is the fight Ciryl Gane had with Francis Ngannou this time last year. As we know, in that fight, Francis Ngannou turned into a wrestler.
Oh, you're a wrestler now.
Turned into a wrestler, took Ciryl Gane down time after time. And that's essentially what got him the victory via decision. My point I'm making is that if Francis Ngannou can take down Ciryl, more than likely, Jon can, right? Jon technically will be a way better wrestler. Wrestled all the way through high school and college, and now obviously in the UFC for many years. He's fought better competition. He's a better wrestler. He's more explosive than Francis as well. Now, of course, Francis is incredibly powerful, but Jon at 265 pounds is also going to be strong, also going to be powerful, okay? And he's going to be a better wrestler. That's for sure. There's no question about it. He's a better wrestler than Francis. So the problem for Ciryl Gane in this matchup is going to be stopping the takedowns. Now, listen, Jon's very smart. He's got a high fight IQ. He's not going to go out there and try and take him down immediately. He's going to stand with him for a little while. He's going to lull him into a false sense of security, and then he's going to shoot takedowns. Now, Ciryl Gane was at the post-fight press conference yesterday, said that he's going back to Paris to get ready for the fight. And if I was Ciryl Gane, all I would be doing was getting in the best physical cardio shape that I can. I'm working on my takedown defense and getting back to my feet. On the feet, kickboxing range, kickboxing match, he matches up really well with Jon. In fact, I'd probably favor him in a contest like that. But in mixed martial arts, he's going to get taken down. And when he gets taken down, he's going to need to get back up. So he needs to work on his takedown defense, and he needs to work on the ability to get back to his feet. Because that is what's going to be crucial for Ciryl Gane if he is going to become the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. And oh my God, what a fight. Listen, it's a shame that the matchup isn't Francis Ngannou. That's what everyone wanted to see. That is a shame. Stipe Miocic, he was another front runner. That's a shame as well. But according to Stipe Miocic, he's ready to fight as well. He put his hand up on Twitter and said, hey, I want the winner in July. I mean, that would be a tough fight for Jon as well. So a lot of big, exciting opportunities for Jon Jones. But rest assured, 3 years have passed. The time is up. The wait is over. The GOAT is back. Jon Jones back in action, going up against Ciryl Gane, March 4th. I cannot wait. It's been a long time.